Welcome to my learning presentation for Scott Semester 2. I'm glad you're here. So, for the readiness, I'm going to teach you domains of fears of English. So here is a chart in which you can see domains of fear. And here's some examples which you need to relate with the domains of fears. In this case, we're going to do only 3. So, choose 3.
Climate change.
Okay, so which domain of fear do you think climate change is related to?
Environment.
Yes. Choose another one.
Getting fired.
Getting fired. Which one of the domains of fears do you think it's related to getting fired?
Personal future.
Yes. And finally, choose another one.
Major storms.
Which one of the domains of fear do you
Natural disasters.
Yes. Okay, so I hope you like my readiness. We're going to continue with the subject overview. So this is the order in which I'm going to show you the subjects and tell you what I learned in each subject. So let's begin with calculus. In calculus, I learned conic sections and I learned arithmetic and geometric sequences. Here it's a project that we do related to arithmetic and geometric sequences that it's called TSLabs. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you most an explanation of what is TSLabs. In biology, I learned protein synthesis, Punnett square, Mendelian genetics, and theory of evolution. For protein synthesis, we did DNA. We did a poster related on how we needed to do our original DNA code based on our name, and then do the replication, transcription, and finally do the protein synthesis. For the Mendelian genetics, we needed to do a master's lab in which we needed to do a Punnett square to see how what was the probability of our master finishing in either one or another way. En español aprendí pues la literatura realista y la naturalista. Aprendí análisis de obras de arte. Y este es un cuadro que hicimos con mi compañero Gabriel Bustamante sobre el paisaje, entonces como una relación con lo naturalista y la literatura en España, la importancia que tuvo. On religion, I learned the church social doctrine. We did diverse activities. For example, we did this mental map, which was the first activity we did related to the principles, values of the social doctrine. And also we did another work related to the Industrial Revolution and the church social doctrine. Lastly, we did a radio station in which we needed to explain some situations related to the church social doctrine. In English academic communication, I learned domains of fear, which was the topic I teach you on the readiness, the proper use of APA guidelines, which we did an essay. We also learned how to answer a question TOEFL exam, and we practiced with diverse questions. We also made a story which I decided to do about a new friend, which was a cat that once came into the house and I really liked a lot. On theater, I learned strategies to improvise and important of angles on camera. So I made this trailer, I guess, about 2 realities in life in which I show how was our life before the pandemic and now. On basketball, I learned physical work and I learned different types of passes and we practiced. En français, c'est que j'ai pris exprimer les hypothèses et donner un conseil, employant les verbes faire et jouer, utiliser les pronoms dont et eux pour parler des activités sportives et de la santé. C'est mon projet, l'activité physique est 15%. Oui, j'ai fait une vidéo et l'infographie. On virtual development, I learned psychoactive substances, in which me and my group decided to do opioids. And we also learned the impact of proper planning, in which I decided to do my own planning, and which was really effective. I also learned how to handle residues. Philosophy, I learned how to identify and compare the different proposals given by classical philosophers to the problem of building a healthy society, and political environment. So we learn about pre-Socratic philosophers, in which we learn of Tales de Mileto and all these pre-Socratic philosophers that were finding the origin on the nature. We also learn the transition from ethical to rational through logos or logos. So for my teaching moment, I want to teach tessellates, which was a topic that I learned on math. So we were gonna watch this video, but I decided to claim first. So there are like two requisites that you need to have this tessellate. So you need to do it with regular polygons. You need to do not have spaces, and neither of the figures could go over the other one. Also, in the vertex, you need to have 360 degrees, otherwise you're not going to have a tessellate.
6.
On my journey portfolio, well, during the presentation, I show you various of my works, but here you can find out other of the works I'm proud of. These are my grades this semester. As you can see, the only subject that I had on advanced was French class, which I had on 92.50. That it's 0.50 points from being in mastery. On the rest of the subjects, I have them on mastery. So I'm really proud of my grades. I also participated on 3 show and tells, which is not a usual thing that people do. For my improvement plan, well, the only thing I maybe can do is kind of studying a little bit more for my final test of French class, so that I can get my subject and mastery. Finally, we're gonna do our Avis procedure, in which I'm gonna do it in Spanish so that we could have a better comprehension of the Avis procedure. So, do you have, ¿tienes algo que aclarar?
No.
¿Tienes algo que valorar?
Sí, valoro que te fue muy bien, que lograste todos tus objetivos y que entendiste muy bien todas las materias de este bimestre. Sobre todo filosofía.
De este corte. ¿Inquietudes?
¿Cómo te pareció la parte de el origen de las especies y la genética?
Muy interesante. Me gustó mucho, pues, de lo que hemos visto hasta ahora. Selección natural.
Eso.
Interesante. ¿Y sugerencias?
No, ninguna. Que hables más despacio.
Listo, muchas gracias. Estaba en presentación de progreso.